Hello, everyone. Welcome to Screen Junkies News. Well, 2016 was an absolute trash fire of a year, but not for movies. There were plenty of great movies and many slipped under the radar. So we want to give you our picks of the most underrated movies of 2016. We have from the House of Slytherin, Dan Murrell.
It's official.
From Gryffindor, Andy Signor.
Can't wait to finally talk about Independence Day resurgence.
From Ravenclaw, we have Roth Cordet.
Hello, in my heart, I'm a Gryffindor.
And I'm Hufflepuff, Alicia Malone. So, Ross, we're going to start with you with a great horror film we saw at midnight and Sundance.
We did, and we even got Scaredy Cat Alicia in to see this film. And you also liked it. So this is a film called Under the Shadow, which when we saw it at Sundance, I actually thought that this would hit bigger than it ultimately did. I thought it would have sort of a Babadook effect, because this is a film, it's an Iranian horror film that takes place in the 1980s, post-revolutionary Iran after the Ayatollah Khomeini took over. And it's during the War of the Cities, which is in the Iran-Iraq War, right? So it's in Tehran and it's getting bombed, and this woman is left in the city as the whole city is being evacuated with her daughter, and they are being terrorized by jinn, and these are like scary demon creatures, and it's really like a drama that has horror elements, or it's a horror with a great drama elements. It's sort of both in the way the Babadook was. It's a psychological horror, but it's also actual horror as well, and it leaves you with a lot of questions.
Yeah, the horror of war.
The horror of war, and it has a lot of sort of the metaphors for what's happening in Iran and the changes that are happening in Iran. And for this woman who had been a medical student and was no longer able to be a medical student because she had been too politically active. And so there's just so many layers to what's happening here. And there are really scary moments in it. And it's so beautifully done and so well acted. And it puts you in a time and a place that not a lot of us are familiar with, but in a very entertaining story as well. So I highly recommend that you see it for all of those reasons and more. I really thought that it would hit bigger. Do you think it's subtitles?
I think it's subtitles. I think, people are less inclined, sadly, to go and see a foreign film, even though, it doesn't take away anything, in my opinion, having to read the subtitles, and I guess I'm used to it. But Under the Shadow, great pick, and lots of scares. I jumped several times in that movie, so definitely go check it out. Me, surprise, surprise, I'm going super indie because, that is my way. And so I'm choosing The Love Witch. This is a great film by Anna Biller, and it's all made to look like a 60s sort of schlocky horror sexploitation film. And it's about this woman who is a love witch, and she creates potions to trap men, and she sends them crazy. But really what it's about is the power of women. And I love the way that it's put together, because not only does it look so beautiful and it looks like a 60s film, but she's the only one really that's doing this, and a couple of other characters. But you still see in the background modern cars going past. There's a lot of continuity errors on purpose. And the director and writer and producer and costume designer and set designer, Anna Biller, she really did everything, and it's all her vision. So it's got a lot to say, and I recommend checking it out when it comes out on video on demand. It's a bit out there, but trust me, it's worth it. Quentin Tarantino would love it, I'm just imagining. Now, Andy, for your pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously Sing Street, but I've talked so much about it that I thought I'd pick a different movie, because I've praised Sing Street all year. If you haven't seen Sing Street, go see Sing Street, because it's very underrated. But this was more popular than all three of your picks, to be fair, but I still feel like it was not appreciated well enough, and that was Kubo and the Two Strings from Laika. It's just, I went in unsure. I hadn't actually seen all the other ones, but I was like, okay, what is this? And I just was blown away by this film. And this probably made me cry the most I've cried at a movie in its final act, because I'm watching it with my kid and my wife, and it's so emotionally, I got so emotionally invested, and just it's so beautiful. Like to know that was all done by hand, like absolutely blows my mind and makes me so sad that this wasn't a huge blockbuster smash, because I thought the performances were fantastic, the themes in this are fantastic, the visuals are fantastic, the story's fantastic. I just really had an amazing time watching this, and I want to make sure more people go give it the proper respect it's due.
Yeah, so beautifully done. And finally, Dan, what's your pick?
My pick is a little movie that I was delighted by, and it's called Hello, My Name is Doris. It's directed by Michael Showalter, and it stars Sally Field, and it was made for $10, and I think it made $8. I mean, a very, very small movie, but just, I'm so it was so small that people have forgotten about it. It came out earlier in the year, and it's a real shame because Sally Field deserves to be in contention for Best Actress at this year's Academy Awards for the performance that she puts in this movie. She plays a woman named Doris. She's the aging lady. She's not old, but she's, about Sally Field's actual age, probably early 60s. And she is the old lady in the office, and she falls for the kind of young new guy that comes into the office and imagines this romance. And so she kind of goes on this journey of self-discovery to be young and hip and relate to him. And, which sounds great. And the movie is very upbeat, but it goes to some dark places.
Yeah.
It goes to some very dark places, but not so much that it's depressing. It's just such a great picture of this kind of delightful woman and her finding herself at a time when she, for the first time in her life, really is able to have her own identity. And I love this movie. I love Sally Field in this movie. Tyne Daly is great in this movie as like her best friend. And again, so small, it went completely under the radar. Nobody really went to see it, and it's a real shame. This is a movie that I think deserves some award show consideration. It just slipped under the radar like so many great movies do every year. But it deserves to be seen.
She should have gotten
too.
Best Actress.
Even for a Golden Globe for Best Actress in a comedy, I would think.
Yeah,
But
there just wasn't that push. There wasn't the campaign
no
behind
push.
it, unfortunately, which
No.
is a real shame.
It humanizes someone. I think that in our own lives, we probably know people like that. And I feel like it really humanizes that person that you could easily dismiss as like, oh, it's the kooky lady next door or whatever. It makes her very
No,
real.
you totally root for her.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, such great picks. Dan Murrell, Andy Signal, Roth Cornett, thank you so much. You can get more Screen Junkies news goodness right here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. What's your pick for the most underrated film of 2016? Don't forget to tweet us at SJ News, and we'll see you soon.